Good morning, Section O1. I'm Dr. Shinneman, and I'm fortunate enough to be on vacation in Phoenix, Arizona for a few days, um, sitting on my balcony, so you're going to hear the water and stuff in the background. But I wanted to kind of show you what I've been doing this morning to work on what our class looks like. I went ahead and changed the background and the colors and stuff. I want you to feel like this is a fresh new start, we're going to be off to a good start together. By default, you'll always see the morning announcement, the weekly announcements that I put on, and you can always scroll back. The first one I put on is the one that's showing right now. When I put these announcements on, I also click a button that sends them to your email. So you'll get an email, and it'll also be posted here for you to look back at later. On the side over here, we left it the same. We have the course GPS that Dr. Bell had set up. What I went ahead and did was I color-coded the areas so that you can kind of pay attention and know what the different sections are to kind of help you out. We're finishing up in this first top area up here, but I went ahead and changed the month of October to blue so that we can see that here. And you'll see that she had October 4th, 18th, and 26th as due dates, and she wanted you to just work on any of these assignments on the side over here as you see fit. You will have an email from me that says I deleted social bookmarking. That's the empty site that was there. She did not have an assignment set up already, and I have no way of knowing what it was she intended to do, and it was not in the point system, so you're all okay with that. And then coming on down for the month of November, I went back to the black font, and you've got your sections here. And then back in December, I changed that to blue again, just to kind of help you tune in to what's going on each month. Okay, with the discussion board, this is probably where you're going to see the most difference. I like to have a student-to-student discussion board, and that's the first one here at the top. And in this area, this is where I want you talking to each other, helping each other out. Same kind of thing that you would do when you were a classroom teacher, or if any of you happen to be in a library. You probably practice something where you have some general group rules like ask three, then me, that kind of thing. This is a place for you to talk, you to work things out, and when your classmates can't help you, then that's a really good time then to ask me for help. But a lot of times it's just a place to go to for reassurance. And like in one of the emails I sent out this morning, I asked you to start posting your live binders here. Let your classmates test out your link instead of putting a link for me in the gradebook and then I'm writing you back and saying, I can't access your link. It's not public for me. Let this be a place to learn and test things out together. I also went ahead and put a discussion board called Where Do You Live? Couple of reasons why. One, later we will be doing a collaborative newsletter. And if you live close to people, that's going to be the group that you work with. Also, just for reassurance purposes, it's kind of good to know who lives by you. You might want to actually meet them sometimes at a coffee shop or get together and just kind of build a relationship together. These are going to be people that will be important to you throughout your coursework. And then as well as you start to build your career professionally, there'll be people you'll potentially work with or go meet at conferences and workshops in your area. Now, I know Dr. Bell had a general assignments question, but I prefer to have it broken down by month. And that way I'm able to focus in on what you're asking that month and not scrolling through a list of 100 questions or more. So what I have is I have a section called October's Assignment Questions for Dr. Shinneman. And I really, really encourage you to ask your questions here. Instead of emailing me, and asking me a question, or instead of texting and asking me a question, because if you have a question, I guarantee you somebody else in your class is wondering that same thing. You're a new graduate student, you're probably a first-time online student, but guess what? So is probably 98% of the students in our classes. Dr. Bell used to have a section called Scenario, but instead of having it in one lump area, I've broken it down into 2 months. So in October, I have a scenario that we put out. And this is kind of for us just to start thinking like a librarian. It's going to pose a library kind of question for you, and it's going to ask you to respond. Now, I'm not going to tell you the right answer right now. I want everybody to start talking, start working it out, Start talking like a librarian, thinking like a librarian, building up our library background. And then at the end of the month, I will post the real answer. So you won't get points taken off because you have the wrong answer. You'll have points taken off if you don't participate. But otherwise, everybody who participates and everyone who's sharing their opinion, you're going to get full points. So we come down to November. We have our November assignments for me, questions for me, and a November graded discussion. Coming down to December, we have the December assignment questions for me and the final graded discussion. Now I went ahead and moved down to the bottom, the introductions, where y'all had originally introduced yourself, because you might have made some connections there. And right now I currently have the Library and Tech Leader podcast down at the bottom. I see that 3 of you have already responded, letting us know who is the librarian that you are wanting to do a podcast about. We come back to the top. On your assignments, I kind of rearranged them and put them in order based upon the due date. You're going to notice it looks a little bit different. And I have started changing some of them, not in the sense of what was due, what it's all about, but I wanted you to be able to have a little more background knowledge. So the ones that I have edited, I'll show you how you're going to know. I like to do things like this, where I have like I break out red section areas. So building a little background. Now it's time to demonstrate your understanding. And I usually have a rubric down at the bottom as well. I don't know that I will have this done on every one of Dr. Bell's assignments, because hers were a little different from mine. But on the ones where I'm able to make a close match, you can expect to see a little more background knowledge built in there. So I hope this helps you a little bit, be a little more assured of the changes that are happening, and things are the same, but we are working together to get these things worked out. Also notice on the challenges, I put that down on the bottom. You should have had an email this morning that you all got full points. She had written down that she was going to be issuing maybe monthly challenges to you to do, but those were not recorded anywhere. So I'm giving you the 100 points and congratulating you on accepting the challenge of staying with me as we move forward with our Section 01 for our 5370 class. It is a great class. It really does lay a good foundation for you on what it means to be a school librarian. I think you'll be surprised at some of the different things that you read or notice on the different listservs. So hang in there with me. We're going to get this all done, and I look forward to getting to know you better as we connect in the class.